Hello. Kind of an impromptu live. I'm going to be working on putting together my cover for the Butterflies and Lace journal. So I figured, I don't know. I'm filming anyway, so why not just go live and see if anybody's around and come in and join and just chit chat with me while I do this. So what you see here is cereal boxes. This is just one way that you can make a journal cover. I'm doing it this way. Number one, because this spine is almost the exact width that I had already planned for this journal to be. Two, I already have actually two boxes that had that same spine width. So good sizing there. These, as you know, are cereal boxes. They are thin cardboard. When I'm using cardboard covers, I tend to like them. I like my spine's a little thicker and more stiff. You've seen my challenge books. These are soft, squishy covers, and these are made with Amazon packaging. So I do all kinds of different types of covers. But when I'm using cardboard, I like it to be a little thicker. Like a chipboard or even corrugated cardboard works. Cereal boxes work too. If you don't mind them being flimsy and floppy, use just one cereal box. For me, I like them a little bit to be a little thicker, so I glue two together. From the spines, I automatically have the signature spine, which will also be glued. These will also be glued together. How do I have them in two different lengths? Did I only cut one? Looks like I only cut one down. Oops. That's okay. Easy fix. I'm just going to do it with scissors. Not going to worry about pulling my cutter back out. So I end up with all these extra strips. I've cut these down. So from the fold of the spine out on each side is 6 inches. 6 inches. There's a 1 3/4 inch spine. 9 inch tall. So standard for me for a half page journal, 6 by 9. End up with all these extra little strips, and these will go into my box down below. And these, obviously I'm not going to make a journal out of these, but these will make, I almost put those in the storage. Signature spines for future journals. Now, another thing to keep in mind is what you're going to be covering your journal with. If I was going to be covering these in paper, if I was going to be covering it with paper like I did with my steampunk journal, I would not do a spine like this. I would actually separate these two out. I would still use this because it's the right width, but I would actually separate these out and spread them out just a little bit. Leave a little gap in there, just so that when you fold it, it doesn't crack your paper on the spines. But because I'm covering this with fabric, I'm not going to worry about it because fabric stretches, paper does not. So because I'm using fabric is the only reason I'm leaving these together. I took this one out. I was actually going to try to use at least half of this, but then I realized, that's the perfect width, so I don't need to. Now, if you could see underneath my table, I have an entire box, like a whole 55-gallon tote Can't seem to get that back in that 55-gallon tote. Of cardboard boxes, food boxes, corrugated from packaging, cereal boxes, you name it, I've got it under there. So when I go to make a journal, it's, how do I want to make it? The cover is always the for me is the hardest part for me to figure out, because I have to decide, what material I want to use, both for structure as well as what I'm going to cover it with. You know what? I didn't even think about what I'm putting on the inside of this journal cover. So first thing I'm going to do is glue these two together. And I'm going to start with the spine on this one, just so that I can get them lined up. I don't know if anybody is going to come into the live. And if not, I get it. This was kind of impromptu. Okay, I'm going to let that sit and dry for a sec while I glue these together. Whoops. Stop moving, please. And again, if nobody pops in, I'm cool with that. I know it was last minute decision on my part, but I also don't normally do these live. So I'll end up just sitting here talking to myself. If I was just videoing, I'd be just random, just rambling on anyway. So this is no different in my book. Okay. You see how gluing it down, even though they're both measured 6 inches, gluing them down, it's wanting to translate this cover. And that's pretty normal. So once I get these, completely glued down, I'll, trim those up again. Ouch. Should have cut it after I glued it. Didn't think about that. Because this is shorter than this one. The top one is now shorter than the bottom one, but the bottom one is the length that I need. 6 inches there. Same here, 6 inches there. And again, this is 9 tall. So you can see the little gap it creates right here. But when you fold it, that little gap goes away, right? If I was covering this with paper, again, what would happen is I'd cover it flat. And then when I bent it, after it was dry, the paper would crack down both folds. Because again, paper doesn't stretch. Fabric stretches. So these are what I've chosen for the inside of, or the outside of my journal. And I'm going to layer it up initially, and then okay, so, and then I'll decorate, you know, the 3D part of the cover, whatever I decide to add on top of the cover. I will add after it's all put together, because, you know, you don't want to put bumpy stuff on the cover of your journal, and then that's going to be, you know, laying out open and getting squished while you're doing the rest of your journal. It's weird, that fabric sounded strange. Hello to whoever it is in the bushes watching. Feel free to come in and chat along with me. As you can see, I'm not really doing a whole heck of a lot. Just kind of starting to put together the butterflies and lace journal. And I figured if I'm going to be filming it anyway, maybe I'd just go ahead and go live and see if anybody wanted to just chat along with me while I do it. Knock down those raised bits of glue. Again, this is only doing that because this is thin fabric. Hey, Sarah. Long time no see. I think this is fabric I got from Muzz. Woo, and I am totally crooked. Not super positive. It's been a while since I've gotten my shipment from her, my unboxing that I did. So, but I was working on my 60s journal, and then I was going to be doing my mermaid journal after that when we did that. So I'm pretty sure, I mean, this is very 60s, right? The tie-dye. So I'm about 99% sure that, maybe 95% sure, that this is fabric I got from her. What you been up to, Sarah? Now, there is a fold line going right down the center, and I'm sitting here like obsessing over that, and I don't know why, because it's going to be covered anyway, because this is actually going to go over it like so. We should actually just glue this down now so I can fold both over at the same time. Oops. Bumped my mouse. Well, I don't know what happened there. It's like, whoa. First I looked up and it said, it looks like your microphone has gotten unplugged, which, hello, my hands were here. How did my microphone get unplugged? But I go to adjust my microphone and it's like, oh, your camera has disconnected from your browser. I'm like, like, really? Anyway, what I was saying is, just when everybody gets comfortable in thinking that things can't get worse, they get worse. Yeah, figured why let's work smarter, not harder, right? I started to I was getting ready to wrap the blue fabric and I'm like, why do it twice? This is going to be glued on the top anyway. Okay, now I need my sewing scissors. Okay, and then and Sarah, if you've been watching any of my stuff, you know what I've been up to lately. Over here working on journals and Open an Etsy shop. I'm like racking my brain right now. I'm like, what's going to be on the inside of my cover here? Get that down. Also hoping that when I go to put covers, book corners on, that they'll actually go over all of these thicknesses. If not, I may have to just put 2 on the bottom and then not worry about any on the top. Well, and I guess for people that have not ever seen my journal assembly or my cover assembly or watched any other on YouTube, you saw me miter those corners, and that's it's to help the corners lay flat, but it also helps reduce bulk over here in the corners. See, instead of having a full layer here and then pulling this up and having another, double layering, by cutting those corners, you reduce the bulk. And then this, I'm going to glue across the top. Do I want to do that now, though? Let me put my corners on first. I'm like, wait, let me try to remember where I put my corners. I had to think about that a minute, because the last couple of journals I've done, I have not put corners on. there is like major stuff going on next door at my neighbor's place. So there's heavy equipment everywhere. Just plain. I don't think those would hold very well. I think I need to stick with a bigger one there. Get off of me. But see if I put this there. No, I'm gonna figure out how to put it underneath. Strings everywhere. Just running a bead of Fabri-Tac. I just stuck my knuckle in it. Again, it's fabric to fabric, so I'm using a fabric glue, but I would probably use it anyway just because it is my favorite glue. Okay, so, all right, there. I got to add yet another layer to the inside. Thinking I have this white. Sorry, I'm in my drawer because I didn't think about this ahead of time. I also have this white, which is more like a quilted. They're both very textury. Let's go with this one. Yeah, I have lots of white fabrics. White and white-ishes. Eggshells. White with design. And I have blue fabric over there, but I was like, do we want to do blue on the inside? I'm trying to find the edge. The edge here. Okay, now it's not uncommon for me to just like pull a fabric and just toss it off to the side until I'm done with the project, or and then figure out later. But even this was a little was a little much. I don't know if this is gonna. Nope. Wasn't sure it was gonna tear because it is quilted fabric, but nope. So we will do it this way. Is folding for now. Oops. This is the front of the fabric. Oops, lost my viewer, my chatter. It's gluing that along the edge there. Oop. Well, it's gonna stick. All right, I'm over here. And again, this is thin fabric. So just doing a little knockdown on the glue just so that it's less likely to have bleed through. And I'm going a little bit at a time. And all I'm doing here is just holding it even-ish with the edge of the book and trimming that down. The fabric may fray. In fact, I kind of hope it does. Not sure if it will, just because of the type of fabric that it actually is. But, you know, if it frays over time, great. I think my phone is done updating. I just heard it go. Okay, so then do I want to put pockets on the inside, which would help cover this if I did. I'm trying to think, if I'm going to put a pocket here, I wouldn't want it to be a white lace. But I don't know what other colors I have. Brain. Woo! Hopefully you guys didn't hear that stomach rumble there. I'm thinking. It's an old crocheted dress I got in an auction. Obviously, it would be double layered here. I don't think that would be. Yes, that blends in too much. I would definitely want it to be something of color. Maybe I don't want pockets. Maybe just something decorative. In the cover. And then, of course, the spine cover, wherever it wandered off to. Really? There it is. It's on the floor. This will be covered in something and then go crossed here. This is the part I don't like about not having people, is that there's no one to bounce ideas off of. Let's see. Grab one of my signatures. I know crocheters out there everywhere are going, oh, but I don't know if you can tell, this was actually part of a bigger piece. It's already been, the center has already been cut out. It was purchased at an antique auction and it had already been ruined by something. So it was already coming apart. So don't shoot me. I'm a crafter. I'm a crocheter. I get it. This is the front. So yeah, you can decorate your inside cover. A lot of times I will take a band of lace and put that on this part of the cover and just create pockets with lace. This is going to take a bit of gluing. There goes my dog being all doggy. I said she's lots of noise going on outside, lots of equipment moving around, lots of strange people. Because again, my neighbor's doing some major work on her property. So there's whole crews out there. My dogs are definitely not used to having this much activity in their neighborhood. Yeah, we're used to it being pretty quiet out here. Try to get off of there. Sticking to my fingers. Again, the more glue that I get on my fingers, the more the glue wants to stick to my fingers. I've already been on here almost an hour. I haven't even finished the cover yet, so I don't think I will be working on the signatures today. So I will change the title of the stream. To reflect, what I actually got accomplished today. And I'll go back to watching Crime TV. It's been playing on my Roku this whole time, but hopefully you guys aren't hearing it. I mean, I don't know if any of that would cause issues with copyright, but it might. I mean, knowing YouTube, it probably would. But there's also, not everybody's into true crime stuff. So trim that off. Okay, let's get to putting my boat corners on. Squirt some glue in there. And this will definitely hold it nice and tight once that glue is dry. So for right now, I'm just going to squish that on there while I do a visual. Trying to figure out, I don't know where my pliers are. They are not where they're supposed to be. Okay, so plan B. We're going to use these. Oh, we're going to try to use these. Nope. I need something flatter. Plan C. I'm going to mute you for a sec. All right, there's one set. What's that saying? Necessity is the mother of invention, right? I don't know where my pliers are that I normally use for putting these on and squishing them down. And as you saw me struggle, I don't have enough strength in my hands to squish that down with just my hands. So banging it was the only way that was going to happen. So I'm sure you guys did not want to hear that. So hence the muting, which I will do again when I go to hammer these ones down. This is a little more tricky because it is very, very thick. Again, it's going through, 4 layers plus the cardboard itself. So as you saw, I might have, I think I did, think it was on camera, spreading these out a little bit just to give them, more room to stuff all of that under there. And then, of course, it'll squish down like bottom corners. Oop. It just needs more starting room to get all of that up underneath there. Where did my little pliers go? My little tweezers. All right, muting you again. Be right back. All right, corners. The corners are on. Can't get my stuff put away, but ouch. And I just stabbed myself with a very, very sharp pair of tweezers. Okay. So inside cover. Put a little bit more glue up underneath there. I think I missed that loopy. I was gluing it the first time. There's the beginnings of the cover. And I will decorate it more. After everything is in and decorated, I'll come back and finish the cover because, again, this is going to be getting open and closed as I'm decorating the signatures and stuff, sewing the signatures in. So I definitely don't want to have the 3D stuff already on my cover just yet. So thank you for those of you that tuned in during the live. Thank you to anybody that comes in on Replay Crew. And yeah, hit the subscribe, the like button, notification bell, so on and so forth. Do all those YouTubey things. I may do more of these live. I don't know. We'll play that by ear. And yeah. So we will talk to you in the next video. Bye. I'm all hairy. Bye.